Diane was born in Des Moines, Iowa, in 1944, but she spent most of her life in Colorado, which made her a proud mountain girl. When she was young, she didn't consider herself pretty. She was tall, skinny, and had a weird hairdo. But the same surprising thing happened to her 3 times. Someone would come up and ask, "Have you ever modelled?" They took her to a modelling agency, and that's how her unexpected career began. In 1970, she landed the cover of Vogue and 2 covers of Bazaar magazine in Italy, which made her famous there. She loved modelling. She loved travelling the world, learning bits of new languages, and seeing how people lived. Her life became a whirlwind. She would be in Paris, surrounded by stylists, hairdressers, and photographers for glamorous photo shoots. Then she would fly to her land in Aspen, Colorado, where she lived in a tent, dug trenches, and wore overalls with no makeup. It was a surreal contrast. After about 20 years, she lost interest in modelling and needed something new. She met a man in Aspen, and they moved to Paris together, where they started an antique business. To this day, she still deals in antiques. In 1983, she had her first and only child, a daughter, who is now very successful. Diane often visits her in Denver. Life, however, brought challenges. In her 60s, she faced serious health problems. It was cancer. It was very scary, but she made it through. Then, in her later years, she got COVID, not just once, but 4 times. After the 4th time, she thought, "Okay, I'm done. I'm just old and I'll sit around and wait to die." But then she stopped herself. "Wait a minute, no, that's not me." She made a conscious effort to ask, what would make me happy right now? And then she did it. Life didn't stop when she retired. It didn't stop with cancer. It didn't stop with COVID. She says she's enjoying her life now more than at certain other ages. One of her big joys is driving her RV around the mountains, stopping wherever she wants, enjoying the scenery and visiting friends. Nature is her best medicine. She loves hiking, skiing, and going out dancing. In fact, she's often the first one on the dance floor and is kind of known for it. Her fears now are different. She is most afraid of anything that limits her freedom to be who she is and do what she wants. She used to volunteer a lot, even working with homeless people in very rough neighbourhoods. Now that she can't do that physically, she donates money instead. Not a lot, but what she can afford when she can afford it. And there's one more surprising chapter. When she was about 20, she somehow ended up in a very low-budget horror film called Manos, The Hands of Fate. She thought it was safely buried because it was famously bad. But 40 years later, it suddenly became a cult sensation, known as the worst movie ever made. For years, fans even believed she died in a fiery car crash after the movie. To her surprise, when someone finally found her, she actually enjoyed being part of its bizarre resurgence. Looking back on a life with many obstacles, spiritual, physical, emotional, in relationships and business, Diane says the key is simple: don't let them get you down. Her message is clear: no matter what you're going through, don't give up on life. Don't think you're old and all your good years are gone. Plan well, because you may live longer than you think. There is always something you can do to enjoy life.